Today, I wanted to talk to you about a term that's bandied around a lot in the personal development and coaching world, and that's self-sabotage. Now, self-sabotage is not a term that I like because I think it sounds very harsh, and I come from an arena of being kind and compassionate and gentle with ourselves. And if we're accusing ourselves or others of self-sabotage, that doesn't sit with my kindness and compassion. So today we're going to talk about that. If you're new here, welcome to The Unburdened Woman, a podcast for the women who feel like there should be more to life, like they're always stressed and running around doing things for other people. I hope to teach you, help you learn to say no to the things that you don't want in your life and yes to the things that lead you to joy. So, self-sabotage. What is it? Basically, it means you're doing something that's sabotaging yourself. So you set yourself a goal, or you have an idea, something that you want to do. And what happens, and I know this happens a lot for me, is you get caught up in your head, wondering what other people will think about it, wondering if you have the skills and the capabilities to see it through. And you build up so much self-doubt with this thinking process that you end up not doing it, or not going through with it, or not following through properly. You half do it because a little part of you is scared to fully commit. That's what we call self-sabotage. And the reason I think self-sabotage is a very harsh term is because who wants to sabotage themselves? Can you honestly put your hand on your heart and say, well, I am deliberately going to sabotage myself. I am deliberately going to go out and not achieve my dreams or my goals? No. Of course you don't. I certainly don't. And yet I have failed to realize so many of my dreams and my goals over the years. Not because I wanted to. Not because I was deliberately sabotaging myself, but because I got caught up in the thinking about others and how they might judge me. I got caught up in my own self-doubt and what would happen if I succeeded, because actually sometimes the idea of success is far more scary than failure. Yes, failure feels horrible. But you know, the thing with failure is we can go, oh well, I tried. We can shrug our shoulders and say, I tried, it didn't work out, I did my best. But with success means that we have to be seen. We have to fully commit, we have to be accountable, we have to take responsibility. We have to step up to the plate and do what we have said we are going to do. And that's a far, far scarier prospect for a lot of us than failure. And that's where the sabotage, for want of a better term, comes in. Not because we don't want our dreams, not because we don't want to fail, but because there is a real fear of stepping out of your comfort zone, of stepping into that commitment, that responsibility, that accountability, that comes with actually achieving your dreams and your goals. So when your mind goes into those loops of self-doubt, of do I actually have the wherewithal to do this? Who am I to do this? For example, before I set to recording this podcast, I had some thoughts going through my brain, like who's even going to listen to this? But that doesn't matter, because the people who need this will hear it. And maybe it's just me that needs to hear this, and that's absolutely okay too. But I could have not put this podcast out. I could have sat with those doubts. I could have let myself fail at this. And I could have made up all sorts of excuses for myself as to why I couldn't record a podcast. My audience isn't big enough. I'm unique. There's nobody else like me in the world. So who's going to want to hear what I have to say? Who's going to listen anyway? I only speak for me. I don't speak for other women. All of that I know is nonsense, because I have spoken to so many other women who feel and have felt like I did and do. So I know I'm speaking to you, if you're listening, and I'm speaking to other women out there. We've all been here. We've all been through it. Some of us are at the other side, and some of us are still going through it. But if we let the self-doubt creep in, if we let what we perceive as the judgment of others creep in, that will stop us doing what we really want to do. And I say what we perceive as the judgments of others. You can rest assured that most people are not thinking about you and judging you and criticizing you, or at least not on the level that you think they are. Because guess what most people are doing? The exact same thing as you are. They're wondering about who's judging them and who's criticizing them. They're wondering how they came across. They're wondering if they can make it, if they can do the thing they want to do. They're not concerned with you. We spend so much of our time in our heads concerned with the thoughts of others, that we don't even stop to think that actually, if everybody else is in their heads thinking about others, or what others think of them, what they're actually thinking about is themselves. That's all most of us ever think about, is ourselves. We get stuck in those thoughts of how do we come across to people? What if so-and-so doesn't like me? What if I say something stupid or something wrong? The truth is, most people don't notice. Or when you do say something stupid or something you consider wrong, the people who hear you feel a sense of relief. A kind of, oh, phew, I'm not the only one that does that. So you can see that a lot of what we call self-sabotage we're doing to ourselves. And I don't like the term self-sabotage, because I think sabotage sounds very deliberate. And I don't think any of us deliberately go out of our way to stop ourselves achieving what we want to achieve. We get caught up in those thoughts. And we allow those thoughts to rule us. And we allow them to stop us stepping up to the plate and doing what we wanted to do. So what if you could question those doubts? What if you could know for sure that you have everything you need to achieve the dream you want to achieve? That you have the skill set, you have the wherewithal, you have everything you need. You just need to let your brain be quiet and allow it to come through. When we can let go of the self-doubt, when we can let go of the worry about others, we can find our true selves, our true voice. We can find our courage, our competence, our ability, our resilience. And then we can begin to commit to the project, to the work that needs doing to achieve the dream. Then we can start to take accountability and responsibility for it. And that is scary. Of course it is. Because what if you do succeed? What then? You have to see yourself as something or somebody different, as well as everybody else. Because when we keep ourselves small and quiet, and we don't share our opinions, and we don't voice our needs and our wants, and we fly under the radar, life is uncomfortable but easy. We might have resentment and anger and stress and anxiety, but hey, they're familiar. We know them. They're old friends. But commitment, accountability, responsibility, success? Oh no. They're way out of the comfort zone, aren't they? So how do we get ourselves there? How do we get ourselves out of the comfort zone? By one small step at a time. By setting little goals, little achievements that feel safe for us to begin with. So you don't need to achieve the whole big dream. So for example, if you're somebody who is scared of traveling, you don't like going places on your own and you worry about it, and therefore you don't go, so you don't leave the house, you just stay at home. But you would love to go to Australia to visit some friends out there, or maybe to India to visit, an ashram, or do some meditation or yoga, whatever. But at the moment, you find it difficult to go to the next town. How do you get yourself from where you are now to where you want to be? In small, manageable, easy steps. So if you can commit, you set a date, you set a time, you're going to go into the big town, I'm just using an example here, to have a coffee all by yourself next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. And you're going to plan your route. And you're going to put it in your diary, and you're going to commit to it. You're going to take responsibility for that commitment by planning how you're going to get there. You might even look up the coffee shop you're going to and look at their menu and see what you might like to have, because that will create some excitement around the event, something to look forward to, something to lessen some of the stress and the anxiety. And then when Tuesday rolls around, you're actually going to do it. You're going to hop on that train or the bus or in the car, whatever it is, and you're going to go, and you're going to sit in that coffee shop for your whatever time you put in your diary, your half hour, your 3/4 of an hour. You're going to enjoy your coffee, and then you're going to go home. And then you're going to write a little note to yourself, telling yourself how brave you've been, how courageous, how resilient, how you committed to yourself and you went through with that commitment, how you took responsibility for yourself and accountability, and you went through with it. And when we start with the small things and we build up, so the next time you would go on a slightly longer or slightly bigger trip. And this is how we build up to it, with small, achievable steps. So we don't go straight out of our comfort zone on day one, we expand that comfort zone. And as we expand the comfort zone, that mind chatter becomes less. You have less self-doubt. You have less of the wondering what others will think of you. And you become freer and more able to do the things you want to do. For want of a better word, you will stop self-sabotaging. But I like to think of it as being more, as using kindness and compassion towards yourself. So while we're planning our trip, we're being really kind and compassionate. We're making it as easy as possible for ourselves, so that we don't give ourselves an out. Because this is the other thing with these small steps. We have to make them small enough and easy enough so that we don't give ourselves an out. They have to be achievable, because we build on achievements. We build one tiny, tiny achievement at a time. When a child starts walking, they take maybe 1-2 steps, then they fall down. Then the next day they may take 1 or 2 steps again and fall down. And they keep going. And finally, that 1 or 2 steps becomes walking across the room, and then they learn to run and jump. And so we need to go back to our baby steps, but being kind and compassionate with ourselves and not judging ourselves for taking those baby steps. Because I've seen that happen too. And I've done it to myself as well. Judgment for taking the baby steps. But we all have to start with baby steps. So, what baby step are you going to take toward your dreams this week? I'd love to know in the comments, or you can message me privately. Thank you for listening, and I will see you again on the next episode of The Unburdened Woman.